Welcome to this episode of my podcast. My name is Kalsoom, and I specialize in training medical professionals how to get the score they need in IELTS or OET so that they can get their dream job, take their career to the next level, and start living their best life with their families by providing them with bigger and better opportunities. Before I start with the main topic for this week's episode, I just want to make you aware of how you can use this podcast to your maximum advantage. This is no ordinary podcast. You can use this podcast by one, simply listening to the podcast to get some advice that will help you in your IELTS or OET preparation. Number two, actively listening to this podcast to improve your listening skills. I try to keep it short. I know you guys are very busy people, but you can use it for focused listening practice. So you can use the show notes, which is a complete transcript of each episode. You can read the episode as you listen and analyze the language, learn new words or phrases, practice pronunciation and intonation. Number three, also included in the show notes are some comprehension style questions that you can use by reading the transcript, using your skimming and scanning techniques to answer the questions. Answers are provided at the end, but you can also check your answers by listening to the podcast. Number four, you can use it as a listening test and answer the same questions while listening. And number five, I also include a brief analysis of some useful words or phrases that I have used in the podcast, which you can learn. So it's up to you how you would like to use this tool. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your colleagues and social media so that more people can benefit from it too. Okay, welcome to this episode of my podcast. Just before we get started, I want to remind you of all the links in the show notes. So remember, there are links to my free OET training, Planning for OET Success. So just click on the link and you can download that. There are also links to my free OET Facebook group and my free IELTS Facebook group. So in continuing with my series all about moving to the UK, this episode, I'm really pleased to have Dina with me today. Dina is a nurse who moved to the UK from Italy, and alongside being a nurse now, she helps other nurses move abroad with her Nurses Move program. So Dina, welcome to this episode of my podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm so pleased, I'm so happy, and I hope to be helpful as well. Thank you so much.
I'm sure you will. I can't wait to share with the listeners the amazing work that you're doing right now. So could we start off by you telling us about your journey to the UK? Why did you want to move to the UK? What was your kind of motivation for moving and your whole journey coming to the UK?
Well, it was a long process, but I tried to shorten the story. Anyway, I was nurse in Italy for 12 years. So I had experience in A&E, critical care management as well. So I gained my big experience in there. I decided with my husband to move abroad just because a serious condition that's come up in very short time. We always been people who love to travel, and we also plan to move abroad sometime. We actually moved from center Italy to the north Italy to make an experience, just, change place, start from scratch, everything. But we really wanted to move in Europe, but our family didn't want it, so we just decided to move from center to the north Italy. Say that after a few years and a lot of circumstances, and we found ourselves with not very stable job, both me and my husband. So we decided that there was the time to move abroad. But we didn't want just to move in the first country we have a job offer. We actually wanted to plan a successful move. This is mean we wanted to move in a place that ensure a stable work condition for myself, for my husband as well, and that ensure a bright future for our kids. No, if it makes sense. So we done approximately 1 year, a little bit more of research, excuse me, because at the beginning we want to move to Australia, just because we are fascinated. We were in doubt between Australia and UK anyway. But yeah, at the end we chose UK because was the not the easy, but was the most affordable, I think. And also more in terms of perspective was the most good for us.
Yeah.
So we choose UK at the end because it's what could offer the most for both of us.
Yeah.
In terms of career, not just a job.
So for like your career prospects, it was a better option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just for seeking a job, a permanent job, or have a stable position, just really in terms of having a successful career abroad.
Yeah.
So once we decide UK, we were continued to do research actually to find the right place and the right job position.
Yeah. And how did you go about doing that research?
I am a very methodologic person, maybe for the study that I have done even before nursing. And also I am a focused person. I know what I want. I know what I don't want, especially. So because we have to do a move, and a move is really a life-changing thing.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do in the best way, that we wanted to move properly. So we're not just looking after the job opportunity, we're also looking at the school, we're looking at the property, the cost of the property, all the aspects of life actually.
Yeah, and then the area as well, depending on where you live in the UK, the property prices, the wages, everything, the cost of living changes quite dramatically, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
At the beginning, we thought about the north of England because the life expenses is a little bit less. Well, depending you go, but yes. But at the end, we decided live near London was good for us for our career. So we decided to spend a little bit more in terms of, rent, expenses, travel, but be sure that we could have what we wanted for our career.
And what did you think of the UK when you first got here?
Well, I was amazed. I don't know, maybe because actually I moved from Italy very disappointed from my country for a serious circumstances happened. So I moved in a country that I thought was still seeing is free. Is very inclusive. Of course, there is a problem sometimes, but generally speaking, a very inclusive country.
Yeah.
It's a country of opportunity. It's a country of career as well, career opportunity and meritocracy. Is it right in English? Yes, meritocracy.
Sorry?
Meritocracy.
Yeah.
So, which is the opposite of Italy. Yeah. You have to know somebody to reach some point of life. Here, you really need to set your skill and you go, which is I really appreciate the most. And what I thought about UK is I'm still thinking about. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very proud, and also I'm proud that I've done this choice and I was able to make it. Yes, and also I'm very happy because I can see that I've got a lot of opportunity here, so I'm happy to stay.
And did you start working straight away? You had that job ready to go? Okay.
I moved before having a job.
Right. Okay. And what was your first job like?
I work in a nursing home.
Okay.
I am a critical care emergency nurse, so for me it was a little bit strange.
Mm.
I decided nursing home because it's everything a little bit calm, more calm.
Yeah.
Time is different, work is different, and I choose the nursing home because be sure about my English. I didn't feel, I mean, I was okay for work and communicate everything, but it was more my confidence.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I want to feel confident in a place where I won't kill anybody. This is the point. And in case of emergency, anything. So because I read to kids,
Yeah.
and because I know how hard is keep the NMC pin, which is a registration pin. I know your followers know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I want to do things step by step, calm, relaxing. Also, I found a job that they pay me a lot because it was a private nursing home. So
Right.
at that point was helpful because my husband didn't work, so I was able to work for both of us without stress so much because the salary was
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah. So you really did plan quite well, didn't you?
Yeah.
You planned really well. And you did all of that by yourself. You didn't go through a recruitment agency or anything like that. You did it all by yourself?
No, I'm with an agency, a
Oh, okay.
recruiting
You did.
agency actually, but I choose which one I want to use.
Yeah.
Husband choose, I choose.
Yeah.
Because I really knew where I want to be. So I chose the agency that was able to brought me there where I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you go with the recruiting agency, the hospital is the client. So the recruiting agency take you from where you are to that hospital to their client. So you not really have choice. You just go, accept the job, and you're happy with that, and you go. But I really wanted to go to Dartford, where is the place we are still living now, because it was a place where it was good for our kids, but was close enough to London, so we were able to set our career, as I told you.
So were there any misconceptions you had about the UK and working for the NHS?
This is funny because I study nursing on book, following British teaching and American teaching. So when I moved here, I thought that I knew how to work as a nurse. I mean, of course, I knew procedure, medication, everything.
Yeah.
The thing is, what I learned those years is that nursing grow following the society. In a specific country, nurses evolve following the evolution of the society. So at the end of the day, each country has got a different way to nursing, to do nursing. So my mindset as Italian nurse was completely different from UK nursing. So I have to learn how to approach the patients, because how we approach in Italy is completely different. I have to learn how to do procedure, which are similar, but of course procedure adapt on a certain healthcare system. So healthcare system in Italy is different from NHS. So I have to adapt the standard in a different way. I have to know a new code, nursing code, because the NMC is different from the OP, which is Italian code. Of course, similar, but the point of view is slightly different. You understand it when you go there in another place, and you start to understand the culture, and you start to recognize the different there are related to the culture, if it makes sense.
Yeah. So how quickly were you able to adapt then, do you think? Do you think you were able to do it quite quickly, or was it quite difficult?
It was quite difficult at the beginning because I work in a nursing home. So in that space time, I understood something, but not really a lot, because as I told you, I come from an emergency background. So what I did in Italy was a completely different job from the nursing home. So I just took for granted that that was, different job. So I just learned what it was like this. I didn't thinking that were some different there, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
But when I moved in the NHS, I really understood, because then I moved in an emergency department. Then I understood the nursing cultural shock, because when we move abroad, we got this cultural shock. Yes, immigration mode. These phases of adaptation of our self to the new country. But it's actually there is nursing cultural shock. So you have to adapt in a new nursing culture. Yeah.
So so it was difficult in the beginning, but you managed it in the end.
But I am a very resilient person anyway.
Yeah.
And I person who like to learn.
Yeah.
I don't care if even a younger person teach me.
Yeah.
The important thing that I'm going to learn new skills, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be coach as well, and I learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I believe that I did fast, considering that I am mom. I've got 3 kids now. I've got endometriosis, which is a very painful chronic disease. So with all these difficulties, I believe I learned very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Considering all of these aspects. If I was younger, if maybe didn't have kids, probably I was able to learn faster.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's all about having the right mindset as well, isn't it? A learning mindset, a positive learning mindset, a mindset that's open to receiving new information and adapting and things like that. And I think that's something students, when they come to the UK, once they've done their OET, and this is from my experience, they have all these misconceptions, and they are stuck in those misconceptions, and they're not willing to adapt, they're not willing to change, and that can be a huge, like a brick wall basically for them. So yeah, that's really good. So you did this fantastically organized move, strategically planned, well thought out, in terms of not only your career, but for your children. Were your children able to adapt easily? Were they happy?
Well, they were very young, so yes, they did very fast as well.
Yeah.
They joined the school very fast because the job we did before move.
Yeah.
So yes.
So you were able to plan this fantastic move that was, well researched for your career, for your children, for their education, where you were going to live, all of the different aspects that go into moving to a different country. So when did you decide then to start helping other nurses do the same?
It's actually happened kind of the same moment, just a little bit before I moved, because I set this Facebook group for Italian nurses who want to move abroad. Because I really wanted to know I wanted to know other nurses who were abroad at the time, so they could give me more information. Because at the end of the process, if I knew something more, probably my move was better than what I actually done. So I wanted more information, gather more information, wanted to know more nurses to understand if what I was doing was right. Actually, what happened is that I had a lot of Italian nurses who joined my group, Italian nurses who at that moment were still in Italy. So they start to ask me questions about. So I have to answer that question because I didn't have anybody else could help me. So I really have my LinkedIn profile, and I start to use my LinkedIn profile to gather information to be able to share in my Facebook group, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe because of the post I did, the question and I put on LinkedIn, I've got this grow on LinkedIn as well, which was organic because I didn't ask him for it. It's just happened. Maybe for the content that I was able to write and share. Also because even if I found some new information on the internet, I was happy to share both on LinkedIn and on my Facebook group. So people just ask me question, send me DM, ask for help, and I start to help just naturally. What I knew, I just shared. And at some point, somebody asked me if I could coach them. At the beginning, it was strange because I never thought to be a coach. I never studied for that. So, but some people insisted. So I studied a little bit as well. I bought some book and followed some conferences. So, because if I have to help people, I wanted to be sure that I was prepared. So yes, I start to be, if I can say, a career abroad coach.
Yeah.
And yes, and then a couple of years ago, not even less, I start my YouTube channel because people ask me for videos to talk about specific problem or content regarding nursing abroad. Yes, I start my YouTube channel. And now I created my new program, brand new program that I'm ready to launch. So just happened naturally.
Yeah.
Thing by thing.
So tell us a bit more about this program that you've put together. So this is all your experience, all your expertise you've put together in this program. Is that right?
Yeah, but this is all my expertise come from not just from my experience, but as I told you, from experience of all the nurses who seek my advice. So to be able to help them, I have to learn more. So it's not just my experience, but I have other people experience. So yeah, that plus I kind of create this method. Actually was I used to move for myself. I just implemented, created this method, which I created for my program.
Okay. So how does your program help nurses that want to move abroad? What does it cover?
First of all, is understanding the global nurses market, which is fundamental because people just want to move abroad. The first job they find, they just don't get it. Or maybe they think the USA is better than UK, or maybe it's better than New Zealand, for example. So understanding the global nurses market is fundamental. Understanding the starting point is fundamental to understand where you want to move. Because you have to be happy. As we talked about before, there is a cultural shock, there is a migration mood, so we have to be sure that the move is the right. Then how to research for the best career, how to plan the move, like strategically in technical point of view, if we can say that, with all the aspects of move. And how to settle in a new country and in a new workplace, so in a new nursing workplace, how work abroad, nursing is abroad. And then how to review the step you've done to be able to implement and escalate your career. So move with in mind your career path. So before you move, already know what you have to do. So you're going to shorten the time and you're going to save money.
Yeah. And
this
how long?
Very general.
Yeah. So how long is your program? How long does it last? How long can they stay in your program for?
Well, we got about 8 weeks of lesson. There are 8 to 10 video lesson, 2 hours per lesson. Plus they've got my coaching session group, which are in the community, private community, and they are lifetime. I mean, until they arrive in the place they want to be, not in terms of country, but in terms of career. So
yeah,
I follow them until they are happy.
you follow them until you're happy. That's amazing. That's such a good,
Thank you.
it's such a wonderful way to support people.
Thank you.
And it's nice that you're, all your expertise, your knowledge, your own experiences, you're putting that forward and now helping others. I think that's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about your program?
That the mistake that I've done, I'm happy to save for others. So
Yeah.
no, I'm very happy about this. And I'm happy when people join it. I'm happy that when they see the change of their life.
Yes.
And their improvement. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it, isn't it? It's the work that you and I both do, it's life-changing. The people that we help.
Yeah.
We play a role, maybe a small one in terms, for me anyway, I just help them to pass one test.
Which is fundamental.
Which is fundamental. Yes, it is. But, it's really the key for them to move ahead and, apply and look for jobs and things like that. And then you're helping them all the way through to where they want to go. So, that's really amazing. So when does your program begin?
This launch will start the 26th of January.
Okay.
This one, but there will be some more in the way.
Yeah.
The near future, because it's every 3-4 months. So
okay, so it's like a cycle. Okay, yeah. So basically enrollment ends on the 26th of January.
A couple of days before.
Okay, so if anyone is interested, they need to get in contact with you. So if any of our listeners would like to get in contact with you, what is the best way that they can contact you?
They can DM me on LinkedIn, or they can follow me or ask some question on YouTube as well. If you're happy, I can leave the links.
Yeah, I was just going to say all the links to your YouTube, your LinkedIn.
And Facebook, Instagram as well.
Yeah.
I don't use Facebook, Instagram so often, but they're good for the text. So if they text me, I'm going to answer back through that.
So we'll leave all the details, all the links to how people can contact you, your email address in the show notes. So if anybody would like to, is interested in Dina's program and how she can help you, please go to the show notes and you'll find all the details there of how you can contact her. Dina, thank you very much for coming on and telling us about your fantastic program and your experiences and everything. I'm sure our listeners have found it really, really useful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dina. I really hope you have found this episode useful. Please let me know if you have. I would love to get your feedback. And if there is something you would like me to do an episode on for IELTS or for OET, please just let me know. The details on how you can contact me are in the show notes of this episode. And remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. If you are not willing to change or implement advice and you keep doing the same thing, you will keep getting the same results again and again. Real progress, real improvement comes when you push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your colleagues and on your social media so that more people can benefit too. Take care and keep working hard.